The share market opens over 7% down. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Florian Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I have my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd start Monday by having a look at this article written by James Hall about the share market in Australia preparing for a fall. And just on my right here, I have, well, the data from Trading Economics. And you can see the ASX 200, the indice. Look at that. We're sitting at 1449. On another screen, I've got the market as it's just started opening as I'm recording this video. And it's still pretty bad. We'll see if it recovers in the morning. But it's opened nearly 8% low. Nearly 8% down. Now, this is because Australia has pretty much decided to shut down our entire economy. The economy is grinding to a halt in this country. We'll have to see. Is it a little bit too late, though? So the Australian share market prepares for further falls as the country's economy grinds to a halt. Aussie stocks have already lost well over $500 billion, and the shedding is expected to continue today as the economy grinds to a halt. Australian stocks will continue its spiral lower today as the historic measures imposed to control the spread of the illness grinds the economy to a halt. Now, I think West Australia, South Australia and Northern Territory have all closed their borders. All states which are significantly desert. It's going to be very hard. How could they close the Queensland, New South Wales border? Just think about that, guys. If you live in Palm Beach and go down to Tweed, or just that border is a bit of a joke when you're down there. Your one side of the street is one state, another side is another, so it will be quite drastic. Prime Minister Scott Morrison essentially placed the country in lockdown, with state leaders closing their borders in reaction to an increase of the outbreak. Well, I think a lot of people aren't really taking it that seriously, and we're going to have greater impacts of it. The horror of the pandemic is also weighing heavily after another dramatic escalation of deaths in Italy led to further closures within the Mediterranean nation. Germany too enforced a 2-person limit to any gathering, and the European leaders are now fearing a recession greater than that inflicted by the global financial crisis. And you've got to remember, guys, the European Union, they've got negative interest rates, they're just printing money forever. It is a mess. And maybe they're learning. Will they learn the lesson of why nations have sovereign borders? Why having free movement of people from one nation to another may not be the best thing? We'll have to see. Sometimes I think people need a disaster to learn some hard truths. The sell-off in US stocks on Friday night, as well as the negative weekend news flows, is setting up the ASX for another weak start to the week, IG market analyst Carl Roeder said in a note this morning. Though the exact impacts remain difficult to quantify, the drag on economic growth because of the unfolding illness shutdown will likely be bigger than previously anticipated by market participants. You don't think? You don't think? Maybe this is why people are just going out there and trying to get gold and silver. They're trying to hedge. Either hedge the drop in the value of the Australian dollar, or the concerns that we may be getting an inflationary period. There's a disconnect between the paper price and the physical price. I was looking at it. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll get a little bit more gold, a little bit more silver, and one of the issues is I don't want to leave the house, so I'm looking at alternative ways of getting it. So maybe in the comments, guys, let me know your favorite means to procure precious metals. I might actually do a video on getting the Perth Mint Gold token. And I know everyone says if you don't hold it in your hands, it's not yours, but I like to diversify my way of acquiring different assets, because there are some advantages to having a token that you can liquefy a lot easier than other methods. But we'll have to see. Well, remember, guys, I'm an architect, so you don't take financial advice from an architect. But one thing I am going to tell you, which I think everyone will tell you, don't ever go all in on one thing, because then you're risking it all on one bet. Early signs in today's trade indicate the market is taking that information in its stride. The ASX had a relatively positive position, a positive day of trading on Friday, closing 0.7% higher, but it lost more than 13% for the week, its heaviest fall since 2018. And we'll jump back here to, you can see now the market's opened. We're down at 44.69. I mean, just look at that, guys. February, here we go. Can't see if I can get March 1. But then again, you know, March 1 we were up at, what, 6,400. February, the end of Feb, 20th Feb, we hit a peak. We hit a peak. We're at 7,100, down to 4,400. Here's the question I put to you, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you reckon we'll hit below 4,000 this week with the ASX 200? Do you reckon we'll hit below 4,000? Let us know in the comments, and then we'll check on Friday. We'll check on Friday. But there you go. I mean, we'll jump out here to 25 years. That is steeper than the GFC, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that decline. That is much steeper than the GFC. So we're back. Now we're back to 2012 levels, guys. 2012, and when it was a all-time high or a high was it 2005? I mean, look at that, guys. Look at that plunge. You can barely see the recoveries. Wow. Has anyone in the comments, have you managed to short it from 7,000 all the way down? Let us know if you have, because you get to buy the next round of beer in the Mad Max world. Well over $500 billion has been lost since the market reached an all-time high of 7,289 on February 20, wiping off a third of its value. The market now appears stuck under 5,000 points. Well, we'll see if it's going to get stuck under 4,000 points. Will we hit 3,000, guys? Will we hit 3,000? Will we get to this level? Yeah. I mean, where's the... I know there's all the charties, the guys who analyze it all and say where there's support levels. Can you let me know where the next support level is? Is it down here? Or do you angle it up? I'll be honest, I have barely done any playing around with TA. But, I mean, I understand psychology plays a part in it. So when you break those thresholds, when you break the 4,000, the 5,000, we'll have to see. You know, zero numbers are magical. They've got some psychological magic to humans. US stock futures are already 5% limit down. Looks like a negative 10% day on the ASX. The ASX will have its worst day yet tomorrow. Good luck all. Oh boy. Oh boy. So from midday Monday, the following will be closed. Pubs, clubs, indoor sports venues, casinos, places of worship, cinemas and restaurants will sell takeaway only. And at stage 1, there's more to be reviewed. What else is there left to close? Here's the thing. Remember, guys, in this stimulus package, a big part of it is trying to get businesses to borrow. Who the hell would borrow now? Or am I just thinking too selfishly? Because, I mean, I've been through business. I had to let people go if times get tough. And, you know, you get hardened to that. It's just business. It's not personal. Would you borrow to keep your club open or your pub or your restaurant? It depends how long this is going to take. You think it'll be weeks or will it be months? There's the question. There's the question. Or maybe some people just aren't ready to let something go, so they'll make a rash decision. We'll have to see. Or maybe it's worth it, just borrowing and keeping it ticking over. The Australian dollar has also been hammered, tumbling on Thursday to an 18-year low of just 55 cents, but has since recovered closer to 58 cents. And I'm just looking at it now, and we're sitting at 57.3. Here's the thing, guys. I did a video about this, and people go, oh, no, it's recovered, you know, because it's gone up 3 cents. But you got to remember where it was at the beginning of the month. That's what's important. You got to trend these things. We have here, look here, you know, I'll bring it up. At the beginning of the month, we were over 60 cents, 66 cents, guys. So that's the thing. The increased travel restrictions are devastating for the airline and travel industry, and Virgin Australia revealed it would cut domestic flights as a result. Investment firms Moody's downgraded its credit rating for the company after the announcement in reaction to the suddenly shrinking sector. The rapid and widening spread of the illness outbreak, deteriorating global economic outlook, Falling oil prices and asset price declines are creating a severe and extreme credit shock across many sectors, regions and markets, Moody's said today in a note related to the ASX. The combined credit effects of these developments are unprecedented. The passenger airline sector has been one of the sectors most significantly affected by the shock, given its exposure to travel restrictions and sensitivity to consumer demand and sentiment. Now, we have family members who have been affected by this directly. You know, this is why I was out yesterday getting timber, because we're converting a part of an enclosed balcony into a bedroom. So we need to clad it on the inside. So, I mean, if you get free timber, you take it. Take it. Why not? Why not? I just have to, clean the car and carry timber everywhere, but still cheaper than Bunnings and less risk. So the stimulus breakdown, I've discussed this yesterday in 2 videos and got a little bit emotional. As the number of confirmed Australian cases ticks well over 1,000, the government has added a new raft of stimulus measures to the first $17.6 billion package announced 10 days ago, taking the country's total stimulus to $189 billion or 9.7% of GDP. And here's what you need to know. There's a supplement, $550 per fortnight for recipients of the Job Seeker, Youth Allowance Parenting Payment, Farmhouse Allowance and special benefits for the next 6 months. There you go. Early access to superannuation for struggling Australians. Temporary reduction of minimum super drawdown rates. Extra $750 for some households, including those on Social Security, and veteran income support and eligible concession card holders. Reduction of deeming rates by a further 0.25%. Small and medium businesses with turnover under 50 million, along with not-for-profits, will be eligible for a tax-free cash payment of up to $100,000. Support for the airlines, temporary relief for financially distressed businesses, and the small to medium enterprises guarantee scheme, where the government will guarantee half a bank's loan to a small or medium enterprise. I mean, there you go. I mean, guys, have a look at my ranting videos about that. I've got some concerns with what's going on here. I understand why they're doing it. But you also have to realize the government has placed us in such a position that by taxing us, we've been in trouble. I'm just looking at that. Okay, the ASX now is up to 545. So it's recovered a bit in the morning. So we'll have to see how it's going. So dramatic volatility. Friday's result ended a run of 10 consecutive days of moves higher or lower of 3% or more, punctuating the dramatic risks to growth as a result of the illness. It means volatility and uncertainty is very high, Mr. Rhoda said. You get the biggest rally in bear markets, an index that had lost 20% from its peak to trough. High volatility just means that prices move more. That doesn't mean just for the downside. Any move in either direction is going to be incredibly exaggerated, so we're still a wild market at the moment, and this could last up to a year. Just have a look at the price falls in the Great Depression, and with the QE and the increases to repo, it's not going to help the situation. If anything, it's going to exacerbate it. Because, high volatility, there's opportunities to make high profit, and if the government is bailing out every man and his dog left, right, and center, why not take the punt? How many businesses will borrow some money? How much of this $100,000 do you think is just going to go straight into the market? CMC Markets chief strategist Michael McCarthy said this long run of dramatic moves illustrates the current destruction of demand and disruption of supply chains. A 10% rise can be just as concerning as a 5% fall, he told news.com.au, explaining the volatility of the outbreak is extremely worrying for the economy. Well, there we have it, guys. There we have it. And as I'm recording this, the dollar is now at 57.5 cents. And the ASX 200 is at 4,500. So, it's come up a bit in the morning. I'm not surprised. It was down 7%. So we'll have to follow this for the day, guys, to see how it goes. But what are our predictions for the end of the week? Let me know yours in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and you want to help us produce more content, there are a few ways you can. You can support us financially via Patreon or PayPal. Or joining the channel here on YouTube for a small monthly fee. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay for your consumer purchases, or Independent Reserve and Kucoin for the crypto traders out there. We also have the ability for you to donate via PayPal or purchase our merch from the HeiseSays website or via Teespring below. Thank you everyone, have a great day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.